What's going on, guys? It's Rob from Heroes Avenue. Happy Friday. I hope you guys have all had a great week so far. And after looking at our channel right now, both Darren and I have definitely had a good week. And that's because looking at our channel, as of the recording of this video, our channel just hit a huge milestone in hitting 3,000 subscribers. And I'm absolutely pumped. And I'm not going to say the line, guys. I know what you guys are probably thinking. It's way too obvious. I'm not going to say the line. But I do want to say thank you guys. I really appreciate the support you guys have given us, all the feedback you've given us, joining us in all the conversations, and hopefully there's years more to come for this small community that we built. Hopefully we can grow it and continue to talk about the things we love. And again, thank you guys. We'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of this video. But before that, we're going to talk about some DCEU news, and we're going to go through some of the topics quickly. Some of the topics include Comic-Con, Project Comic-Con, Henry Cavill as Superman, Wonder Woman reshoots, the Batman cinematographer that's just been announced, and then we're going to end this video by talking about the Joker. And yeah, let's get into it. So another Comic-Con has came and went, and for DCEU fans, it's been largely uneventful. There's definitely been a lot on the Marvel side of things to talk about, a lot of DC TV shows to talk about, along with other new shows to talk about. But for the DCEU fans, it's been largely uneventful, and the biggest presence that we had there for the movies was actually the Release the Snyder Cut campaign, because they've been making a ton of noise, and we've definitely been covering what they've been doing. Wherever you fall on the issue of whether the Snyder Cut should be released or it shouldn't be released, wherever you fall on that issue, you can't deny the good they've been doing with this campaign, because not only have they been bringing attention to an injustice that has been done with Zack Snyder, but they've also raised at almost $15,000 to suicide prevention, because half of whatever they get from all their supporters of the movement, half of it goes to suicide prevention. And to see that they've donated nearly $15,000 to the cause, obviously it's in memory of Autumn Snyder and the tragic events that led to her suicide. You know, the fans have come out in droves in support of Zack Snyder on that issue, and all of the fans in support of this movement have definitely done some good here, despite what you may think about the issue or whether or not you support releasing the Snyder Cut. They've definitely done some good. Moving on, while we didn't have a DCEU presence at Comic-Con, we did have a DCEU member in the form of Henry Cavill at Comic-Con to support his new Netflix show, The Witcher, which looks actually pretty good to me. So he was there promoting The Witcher. Of course, the trailer dropped, and of course he did some interviews. And speaking of the trailer, I just want to comment. It looked pretty good. I do plan on getting into the books. But the only thing that troubled me was how little of Henry Cavill was actually in the trailer. He said like maybe 2 lines, so that, you know, it troubled me how little he spoke in the trailer. But outside of that, I'm excited. He definitely looks great in the part. But aside from that, we haven't got anything about Man of Steel. We haven't heard any official news about Man of Steel in a long time. And a fan happened to find Henry Cavill at Comic-Con, talk to him, take a picture with him, and he made some comments about playing the Man of Steel. And here's what the fan said. He said he still wants to play Superman, wants a sequel to Man of Steel, wants to explore how it affects someone with absolute power. So many stories to tell, what makes him tick. So that's what the fan got out of Henry Cavill at Comic-Con. And if you were following the news at the time, you know Henry Cavill was getting interviewed about The Witcher, and someone had, or the reporter had mentioned that, hey, you're still Superman, and he kind of hesitantly agreed. And some people may take it as, you know, really positively that he said yes, but the way it went in the interview, it didn't look so good. The way he, you know, he nodded. It didn't look so confident, and it looked kind of hesitant actually. So it's Henry Cavill's been incredibly ambiguous in the way he's approached this whole Man of Steel situation. If you look at his Instagram accounts, he posts these weird pictures and he posts these really cryptic messages about whether or not he's still the Man of Steel. And this comment from this fan and the things he's posting online doesn't give me the most confidence that he's going to continue playing the role. I'm not saying at all that he isn't. I'm just saying it doesn't give me the most confidence, even though I think he's the greatest Superman so far. Man of Steel, my favorite superhero movie of all time right now. So again, Henry Cavill continues to give ambiguous answers as to his future about the Man of Steel. And again, nothing really new here. It just makes me really sad that we don't have any real update about Henry Cavill as of this recording. So we will keep you guys updated. Let's move on to Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman 1984 reshoots for Gal Gadot's film are reportedly underway, and this is nothing that should concern most people. Again, if you watch any person talk about reshoots, you'll know that apparently that reshoots are a norm for big budget movies these days, and I can't. And we've heard so much about this Wonder Woman movie so far. Patty Jenkins has raved about it. She was super excited. She wished she could have released it this year. And then you have people like Grace Randolph, who was talking about that this might be a flashpoint for the DCEU and kind of reboot the franchise, which sounds absolutely nuts to me. And again, Grace Randolph has been right. She's been wrong. But this is like a huge question mark for me right now. Like when they should have been at Comic-Con to promote Wonder Woman, but when they announced that they weren't going to be at Comic-Con, Warner Brothers put out this image from this new poster, an image from Wonder Woman 1984, and Gal Gadot looks absolutely stunning in this image, and gives you that totally retro look in the golden eagle armor. So that was all cool, well and cool, but we just still don't know a lot about this movie, and apparently they're going through reshoots. Hopefully everything's going well. I'm not really worried right now. I'll start to worry if I see a bad trailer. So let's hope everything's going well on that front. And let's move on again. Let's talk about The Batman. The Batman adds Rogue One and Vice cinematographer Greg Fraser. And this, earlier, or one of the earlier videos, I talked about The Batman and how there was how news outlets have falsely reported that Robert Richardson was going to be serving as cinematographer, while actually he was attached while Ben Affleck was director. So now we got an update that Greg Fraser is going to be working, and he has worked with Matt Reeves before in movie Let Me In, and he comments, "It's great to be working with Matt again," said Fraser in a statement to The Hollywood Reporter. "The Batman franchise is iconic, and it's a privilege to now to be able to visualize it in my own way, especially with the cumulative creative potential of all the talent and technicians we have in front and behind the camera." So there's Greg Fraser on joining as cinematographer for The Batman. I'm definitely excited. I'm super excited that the ball is actually rolling for this Matt Reeves Batman movie that we've been talking about and speculating about for so long. And the only work I'm really familiar with him in is Rogue One. I liked Rogue One a lot. I definitely love the aesthetic of Rogue One, and that iconic Darth Vader scene at the end. Incredible. So I'm super excited to see him join the cast. Definitely probably one of the more talented people in the industry right now. He's currently working on Dune, the Dune remake, and The Mandalorian, which I'm super excited about. So there you go. We have a cinematographer for The Batman. Let me know if you have any thoughts on it in the comments below. Okay, let's get into The Joker. So The Joker, Todd Phillips posted this earlier this week. He posted this new picture of the Joker dancing or celebrating on top of these steps, and we've seen this in the trailers before and other images. He said, Todd Phillips says, "Honored and thrilled to be having our world premiere at the 76th Venice International Film Festival and our North American premiere 2 weeks later at the Toronto Film Festival. Excited for everyone to finally get a look." And as you can see, it's a beautiful shot of the Joker on top of the steps. I'm wondering if this got to be at the end of the movie. He just did something incredibly nuts, is what I'm guessing, and he's over here celebrating. And so we have some comments from people surrounding the movie, comments that are definitely getting me incredibly hyped, more hyped than I already am. You already know, if you guys have been following the channel, you know that this is my most anticipated movie of this year. So let me just go ahead and read you some of the comments that people have made about this movie. So artistic director Cameron Bailey noted that the project is unlike most superhero features and praised Joaquin Phoenix for a career best performance as the Clown Prince of Crime. It's an original story, not part of an existing canon. It does take the character and a lot of the elements that we know from the Joker's backstory, but it's an original story that allows the filmmakers to go in an original direction. It's got some real dark tones to it, but it's just grounded in this character best career performance by Joaquin Phoenix. I think all the awards bodies will be taking notice. Oh, and just to comment on this right here, of course, we've talked about how it's going to be an original story. going forward. And some of you guys were troubled that it's not going to be exactly taken from the Joker stories that we know. It's going to be an original story, and for me, no problem. I can separate the comics from comic inspired movies, and oftentimes I think that makes for the best movie. So if this story is looking to do something different, give the director some creative freedom, I'm looking forward to a story. I'm looking forward to a great story out of it. So I'm super excited for these comments. Joaquin Phoenix obviously is an incredible talent, and for him to say that it's a career best performance by Joaquin Phoenix speaks to why Warner Brothers seems to be so confident in this movie, sending it to these film festivals and hopefully the Oscars later. So in an interview with Variety, Venice artistic chief Alberto Barbera noted Joker director Todd Phillips was one who pushed for Joaquin Phoenix film to compete at the film festival in Venice. Barbera noted that the Joker is the most surprising entry they have at the 2019 Venice Film Festival, before predicting Joaquin Phoenix will be present at the Oscars next year. He says, "I have to say Warner's was convinced pretty rapidly, because it's a really surprising film. It's the most surprising film we've got this year. This one's going straight to the Oscars, even though it's gritty, dark, violent. It has amazing ambition and scope." Again, these comments just speak to why so many people are really excited about this movie. Just seeing the trailer alone, it makes sense. It totally, all these comments make sense because you get that vibe from the trailer. These comments really feel appropriate. And I'm going to read one more quote here, and this is from Batman franchise producer. His name is Michael E. Ulsan. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but he says, "Todd Phillips is the filmmaker there, and Todd had an incredible vision for this. All I can tell you is that, in my humble opinion, the world is getting a little oversaturated with comic book movies and TV everywhere we turn. When I pick up a newspaper and find out that, oh my goodness, on May 5th, 2027, Ant-Man 5 is going to open, I better write that down in my calendar. The world's going to be a little bit haywire. So, not being a great fan in any media of oversaturation. I love when something comes out and it's different and it's unique." Ulsan pointed out that some of the films in the superhero genre have found their own voice to an extent, specifically citing James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy and Tim Miller's Deadpool, but he goes on to state that Joker's approach resembles a specific type of grim filmmaking. It's maybe more like Martin Scorsese, low-budget, film noir, crime, drama, but I have all the faith in the world in Todd, the brilliantly talented Joaquin Phoenix, Robert De Niro. It's an incredible, incredible group of people that's brought this to life. So there you have it. I'm going to let those comments speak for itself. Just goes to show why so many people are excited about this. And I can't wait. I can't wait till we get some more looks at this movie. So I told you guys I would end the video by talking a little bit more about this milestone that we hit. Again, guys, it's huge. I just want to say thank you guys. When we started this channel back in, I think it was 2016, Darren had made a few videos. And we went on this trip with a bunch of other friends going to, we were headed to Jamaica, and then, Darren and I were just kind of hanging on the edge of the ship, and he was talking about how hard it was, making YouTube videos, and we started kind of going back and forth about, our favorite YouTube channels, our favorite comics, our thoughts on different comic book movies, and Darren, I think, offered, he was like, "Hey man, you want to make some videos for the channel?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, that sounds amazing." And the next day, the first Justice League trailer dropped while we were on the cruise, and that just got both of us incredibly so much more excited about the future, what we were going to do with this channel, how we were going to be really DC focused, but also talk about other things as well. And that led us here to today. Darren and I have been friends since high school. Never imagined that both of us would start a comic book movie channel and going to all these conventions, covering these conventions for our channel. So to hit this milestone, it's just really incredible. And again, I said I wouldn't say it. I'm still not going to say it, but I'll let Tony say it for us.
I love you 3000.